At long last, Season 2 of the UPDL is going to be coming to a close for my team, the Glowboro Kings, with Week 17 against the Berkley Barboaches. And before we get into anything here, I'd just like you guys to take a look around the screen. Look at that pink in the bottom right and that purple in the top left and the gradient all along in between it. I wish it could buy. It has become so grating on my eyes, editing and prepping and recording videos with this horrible gradient in front of my face. I am ready to bid it adieu for a much nicer hairdo in Season 3. One thing I'm not sick of looking at, though, is Barbo. He's just doing such a good job over there. Look at him go. Without further ado, let's get into this lovely team, starting with a Terra Captain Bronze One. Now, this one is just good. It's a worthy Terra Captain. It's a worthy first pick, even. It's one that is going to go over the course of the draft. I believe it's gone all 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Anywho, this guy can kind of set up in any way he wants, as long as it's not getting too much faster outside of Trick Room. Trick Room is, of course, definitely a valid way for this guy. But he's got Body Press, Combine, Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Body Press. Did I say Iron Defense already? I think it's got Amnesia as well, on top of just a great typing in Steel and Psychic. You lose that natural weakness to fighting, which helps a lot. And then you've got Levitate and Heat Proof, so you can force your opponent into a guessing game of whether you're going to resist or be immune to this Steel weakness or that Steel weakness. It's a very good mon, and it's a great defensive core to be building around. And next up is Baxcalibur, who is a Dragon Dance terrorist. He's got an incredible attack stat up there with like Ur's levels, and a pretty solid speed tier and HP tier for Dragon Dancing. You've kind of got the spot where you can live pretty much any hit that you want, as long as it's not big and super effective. And your speed tier is 87, so without too much effort, you can outspeed a lot of things at a +1, which is really nice. That being said, it's not just a booster. This thing has got Glaive Rush to put a chunk in your forehead. It's got Ice Shard for some priority, Scale Shot, Icicle Spirit for some consistent stab damage, Earthquake, and some other things that I can't remember. Really good mon. It's definitely a demon. We saw Josh use this in Season 1 to great effect. Next up is Grimsnarl. You know what Grimsnarl does. It's got a cool typing. It's flashing in the PNG every 5 seconds, it seems. And it's got Prankster. Did I say Prankster? Prankster. Regardless, this mon puts up the screens, it puts up a T-Wave, Taunt, Encore, Parting Shot. It's a good Prankster terrorist in a bulky core. It does its job, and it does its job pretty much better than any other Prankster user could ask for, outside of not having access to Tailwind. On top of that, it's got a really serviceable attack stat that can be used to boost up with Bulk Up and cause some real shenanigans. Fourth in the line is Mousehole, a lovely mon, kind of a Baxcalibur-like, if you think about it. It uses a +1/+1 attack and speed raising move, and it uses multi-hit moves, likes to run loaded dice. You see this guy most often running an all-out attacking kind of setup with loaded dice, tidy up for a D-dance, and a hazard removal. And that population bomb to really just chunk people who aren't resistant to normal. And for those ghost types who are immune to it, you got Crunch. It does just about all you need out of a pretty solid neutral attacker. Love this mouse. Next up is Venusaur, who's so kindly doing her best pirouettes for us. Now this is a chunky ass mon. Without any way to negate its thick fact ability, it is weak to just Psychic and Flying, which is not the worst situation in the world. On top of that, it's got incredible defensive stats and a great set of recovery move pools. It's got Leech Seed Synthesis, Giga Drain. It's got all it could want to stay alive. On top of that, Toxic, and a whole slew of Grass and Poison and other attacks. This being said, I can hopefully deal with this with Mold Breaker, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, who will also be able to, as we're talking about her, ignore the Thermal Exchange ability from Baxcalibur, which is really nice. Next up is Rotom. It's a Rotom. You know what a Rotom does. He can come in, Volt Switch, press a big old typed attack. He can Thunder Wave you, Will-O-Wisp you, Defog you. He's just kind of here to set your team on the right path. He's really good at just helping you walk right down the line that you need to go down. Great enabler. He's also got, of course, like screens that he can use really well. Toxic. Good mon. Next up is Driftwind, somebody I used in the multi-draft in between Season 1 and 2, and I love this mon. This is a Terra Captain running Terra, I don't know, and normal, and I can only imagine, hope, wonder, and imagine that Terra normal is being used for boosted explosions, which is awesome. 3 great abilities of Flare Boost, Unburden, and, of course, Aftermath, the real Hindenburg. He will let you know himself. This mon can do a lot of things. It's got some good moves. It can boost up kind of whatever stat it wants. It's got Calm Mind. It's also got Strength Sap, which is great. And crazy big HP stat. Lets it stay alive for a long time. And can't even toxic it if it's running its Flame Orb, which it really does appreciate. It's a very good mon. It knows what it wants to do, and it does it. Conkeldurr, you'll see here getting a nose job. It's a pretty simple mon. It comes in, it burns itself, and it starts pressing big buttons. That's all you gotta know. Mach Punch, of course, provides it with unbelievable priority, stab priority. Even at a base 40, this mon is so powerful that it hits like a base 80. It's kind of a running theme in this team where all of these mons are iconic. You know exactly what they do. They just do it so well that this team remains all the more scary for it. Next, we got Sandy Shocks, which is a mon that I'm less familiar with than the others, but I can tell you that it's got a solid speed tier of 101, just barely outspeeding the 1 trillion Travigentillion mons at that base 100 speed stat. And beyond that, it's got a solid cannon of a special attack stat. It can run special attack or speed photosynthesis boost. And it can hit you with earth powers and thunderbolts and a whole other slew of things. Volt switch out on ya. Good mon. Gholdengo, following the Gen 9 train here, is a great mon. Now, it was the ghost of Season 1 because we never saw it in action, but this time we have seen it, and we've seen it put to good use. It's a great mon, of course, for denying hazards that somebody like Sandy Shocked or Mega Venusaur might set up with that ability and typing, denying literally all hazard removal. And of course, it can run some solid special attacking sets. It's a great Scarfer, it's a great Specs user, it's got Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, or maybe Last Hour Specs you up, and of course Make It Rain, which makes it a great special attacker on top of just that great typing that I mentioned beforehand. Ghost and Steel, it's very hard to get much better than that. You gotta keep your Steel typing anyway, so yeah, definitely a mod to deal with. Talonflame is up, giving you some more hazard removal and some more priority in the form of Gale Wings, getting you Prankster Defog, which is awesome, and things like Prankster Dual Wing Beat, Prankster Brave Bird, Prankster Fly, if you're feeling crazy like that. Anywho, this mon is really good. It's here for its elite speed tier, being able to revenge kill really great off that 126 base speed. And of course, it is a boots jobber where you're almost always going to be putting those booty boots on those talons, putting those claws away like a proper falconer, so that you don't take half your things to stealth rocks. But hey, it's still a really useful mon. It also got flame bodies and ability. Overall, it's a useful package with a frail body. It's a bird. It's got light bones. What can you say? Finally, we got Wishcash, which, I mean, just look at him. It's Wishcash. Got Dragon Dance, EQ, Liquidation, some other stuff. Love this guy. He's doing his best. Moving on into Mr. Minior, being my first mon brought to the table here. We are running an Ogov Berry and Shields Down. You can see max HP and split defenses with a plus speed nature, stealth rocks, light screen and reflect, so dual screens, and U-turn. And you know what? I looking back on it, I don't know what this mon was here to do. To make something easier for someone. Stealth Rocks doesn't do the most to everybody. There's a couple mons that, of course, it chunks real good, but it's also got great hazard removal on that team. Definitely some of those members can use heavy boots. So I don't know. Minior, here, looking back on it, I feel like I could have done something better with this slot. But yeah, you know what? 2020 hindsight at all times, right? Next up is Torkoal, running a Shukaberry, Drought, Jolly Nature, a max attack and speed there with the speed boosting nature, and we're running Shell Smash for death's sake. We're trying to get in on a physical attacker here and just go crazy. Now, Shell Smashery is, of course, just here to make me fast. Now, you think of Torkoal as a very slow mon, but if you start getting like 1 or 2 Shell Smashes up with some speed investment, this turtle starts to zoom. is pretty funny. Stone Age and Flare Blitz as well on top of a Shell Smash boost will do pretty good work against the team as far as getting neutral typing. Of course, this is banking on Stone Age hitting and Flare Blitz recoil not killing me. But hey, I'll go with that for the funny. It's last week. We need to bring something good. Explosion, of course, is here because we gotta run the Mine Turtle set at least once, and it provides a really easy out of at least 1-for-1, especially after a boost. So that's what Torko's here for. And bringing it up, we got Hoopa again, running the Choice Scarf and Magician set. Terra Fairy on this, although I didn't write it down. And we are just running all-out attacks. Psychic, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, and Terra Blast. Now, being a stab attacker is just nice for this team. Hoopa can, at least before terraing, damage a lot of this team for super effective stab damage, which is nice. Focus Blast helps with some of those fringe cases, notably doing a crazy amount of damage into a Baxcalibur as long as we, don't get eviscerated by a Glaive Rush. And it also can pretty much blast a hole through poor Mousewood's head. And finally, Terra Blast. Terra Fairy helps just deal with some of those beefy guys, both offensively and defensively. So really nice little card to have. And with the Scarf, we're going to beat any of these guys' speed tiers without a boost on them. So if Baxcalibur gets the Dragon Dance off here, oops. Next up is Joniston with his balloon and propeller hat. Justified ability and jolly nature. Attack and speed investment. And we're running Swords Dance, Meteor Mash, Drain Punch, Earthquake, and now we're here because that Meteor Mash, the mashed potatoes, can hit some mons for good, and that chance of it raising an attack here would be lovely. We also, of course, have that with Swords Dance. We're hoping to use some of the mons being on the slower side of this team to our advantage. Of course, that nasty Conkeldurr can Mach Punch us into oblivion, but we'll get that bridge when we get there. The Air Balloon here helps me deal with a Baxcalibur for free. If it's running a Earthquake set, it has to hit us with either Dragon or Ice type, which Lucario will resist. And we get a Drain Punch off, and then hopefully Meteor Mash and kill the next turn. Drain Punch, of course, as I just mentioned, helps deal with that Baxcalibur, and Swords Dance is here for Swords Dance. If for some reason we get a chance to get it off, we're all the more happy for it. Next up is Bolt Raging, running another Choice Scarf on this team, so we're going to be really locked up. Timid Nature and Photosynthesis, minus attack for that plus speed, max special attack, Spadef. Now, 252 plus speed might not be perfectly speed cramped. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what it's speed cramped for. Anyways, for the moves, we got Volt Switch, Thunderclap, Dragon Pulse, and Draco Meteor, kind of being able to do a little bit of everything. Thunderclap is here so that we can still outspeed that Conkeldurr Mach Punch if it gets to that situation where we need a revenge kill, and we don't want them like outspeeding. Though I don't actually know if Conkeldurr would ever. So maybe I'm smoking crack here. Regardless, Draco Meteor is just here so that we can try and knock something out. Absolute, revenge kill cinch. This will do a lot of damage to a lot of things, so it's nice to have. It'll absolutely OHKO the hell out of Baxcalibur as well. He's one of the mons, if you can't tell by now, that I'm quite worried about. Thunderclap is just great to have for revenge killing. Even with a Scarf, that priority can be helpful, as Raging Bolt isn't the fastest bulb on the tree, or fastest knife in the drawer, whatever kind of expression you want to use. And finally, Volt Switch just helps me get out of here as long as it's not a ground type. It just helps me alleviate some bad positioning if need be. Next up, Leovani. Focus Sash, Chlorophyll, and a Jolly Nature. Bringing Webs, Knockoff, Heal Bell, and Toxic. Pretty much pure utility here, because I'm not going to lie, that Knockoff isn't going to be doing too much. Sticky Webs is just going to help really set some of these mons off. And of course, Mousehold and Goldengo kind of get to deal with that. Actually, Goldengo can't deal with it. Mousehold can deal with that, but it'll still put all these mons at a -1 when they hit the field. So it just helps deal with those speed tiers, make these offensive threats a little bit more manageable. Knockoff just helps knock off. It gets rid of a band on somebody, or a Scarf on Goldengo, or Dice on Baxcalibur. It just can make a couple of things a little bit more easy in my life. And hey, I'll take whatever I can get there. Toxic also is here because it's just going to really help me deal with some of these bulkier threats. Of course, Bronzong is on here being a steel type, but if it Terra Fairies, the Leavanny can come in and start whittling it down as time goes on. So a nice little backup to have as long as it works. With all of that said, let's get on into the replay. Alright, last match of the season. Second season, it's almost done here. Well, for me it's done. And for you it's done. But for YouTube, this is where we wrap it up. But good lolly golly gee. This was a team that I had a really hard time prepping for. Like, oh my goodness, I was just having builders block in the team builder here. I could not for the life of me figure out how I was going to go about some of these threats. I've got 2 Choice Scarf Mons. I've got like the most fucked up natures here. But we send it regardless. In this face-off, you're seeing just about everything that you don't want to see. You've got the Pranksters, you've got the Bulk, you've got Priority, you've got Dragon Dance, Hazard Removal, all that shenanigans. So I didn't bring any hazards this week, other than Sticky Ones. So I'm a liar, but with that, let's just get right on into it and turn it out. No point in belaboring the point in the last week. We get the face-off here of Sandy Shocks versus Minior. Now, it's not the most ideal because they got that stab. Minior is pretty bulky, so hopefully we can take a couple of hits at the very least. Photosynthesis is going to go off, and that Thunderbolt whacks us real good. Even with an Ogwav Berry and a Light Scream, we're barely going to be surviving this next one. So, we'll see. Bam. But damn, we take a U-turn. Now, I'm not 100% sure I love this U-turn. I forget how Shields Down works. Which is really funny to say as a coach who has drafted this Mon very recently. But I think it's like Guts where if I switch in, I will go down and get all the speed. So it might let me, with some reasonable ease, get another screen off at some point. But for now, we've got the light screen on into this Sandy Shocks. And maybe we can get somebody set up. Raging Bolt is here. We're going to see the Stealth Rocks, but we'll get to that. The idea here is simply to press a Draco Meteor. There's nobody who can be a fairy type here right now. So actually, there's Grimmsnarl right there. So it's kind of a horrible play looking back on it because you could just hard swap the Grimmsnarl and then I'm choice locked into hitting you with Draco Meteor. But Worm doesn't know that I'm choice scarfed here. So with that speed, we also don't find out. Living with 1% is really tragic because we just have to drop our special attack again to be able to use it. We do, of course, keep the fact that we're a Scarfer out. The double swap here, and we just use this turn to sack Minior because the rocks went up, and we really don't have any hazard removal in the slightest here. So that's going to be what it is. Lucario coming out on the rocks here. We're going to be trying to press that Meteor Mash or getting a free setup turn here. Hopefully not getting taunted or T-Wave would be ideal. Balloon comes up, and then there goes the Reflect. This is essentially a zero-sum. A +2 and a halving of damage. We're just where we started, you know? The tennis ball went one way and then it came back the other way and now it's right on... It's stuck in between the net. We don't even know whose turn it is. Parting Shot comes out, which, sure, that's the thing that Grimmsnarl does. And Conkeldurr comes out here. Now, this is making my Swords Dance look like it was all for naught because looking at the calc here, you'd be able to see that a Mach Punch after Guts just straight up deletes Lucario off the board here. So that's a little bit tragico-nico. Drain Punch here, not enough. The Drain Punch there, absolutely enough. Pretty tough. It is what it is. So we're 2 Mons down to their 0. And Conkeldurr, nobody's really looking happy here. Hoopa's going out because we've got the Terrablast Fairy, which is actually looking pretty good into the team as a whole, except for Talonflame, who resists it, but they're made of paper. It's just not the worst thing in the world. But we're not feeling super confident from this position. Stealth Rock's going to dig in there, and we have to worry about a knockoff. We don't Terra, and we get the Psychic there. We're scarfed into Psychic now, into the Dark type. So, we have to pull another hard swap, taking another quarter of our health, and another 38%. And we're not looking too good here. We mouse over. We got the Raging Bolt who's done nothing, the Hoopa who's done nothing, the Torkoal who's going to come in on rocks, the Leavanny who's in on rocks. not a great scenario here. Sticky Web going out because, sure, you use it. It'll make Torkoal's job to shell smash up next a little bit easier. And that's what Torkoal is here to do, taking that quarter of its health, which hurts real bad. Whew. Drought comes in. Now, luckily, we are pretty bulky even without investment here, and we're able to get a free shell smash off. I'm pretty sure, if we mouse over here, 152 to 240, we do, in fact, outspeed Stinkfoot here. And I remember I was sitting and thinking here, I could one-shot this guy. I could with Stone Age, but if they... Or I could one-shot with Flare Blitz, but if they swap to somebody like Baxcalibur, then it's doomed. Because they get that beautiful attack boost. So I was looking at my options of Stone Age and Flare Blitz, being like, shucks. Also, if I killed here, I would be nearly dead from the recoil, and Conkeldurr can kind of just come in. So this is just one of the most grim scenarios I've been in all season. And it's the one we're leaving it off on. Anywho, we go. A light screen, I shell smash again. Predicting that the light screen will go up. Now, they don't know that I'm not a special attacking. They're probably assuming that like Eruption or Lava Plume is coming out, but no, I'm running physical here. So the light screen going up there is actually a wasted turn, but Torkoal's stats get to increase even more, and the sunlight is still damn strong. Now, we're still talking about the same, oh my Nelly! We're talking about the same conundrum between Flare Blitz, Stone Age, and Explosion that we were earlier, and we'll see what I picked. Stone Age here, not enough to kill. Flare Blitz in the sun, I think, was. So I was probably expecting a parting shot or a hard swap here. I mean, it's Grimstorm, so definitely a parting shot here. And it's kind of tough that we hit that Stone Age, and then we get crunched, and with half defense, that's enough to do it in. Hoop is going to come out here. We're going to press some kind of button into this Mon here. Parting shot comes out. We lose some special attack. It's tough. We're scarfed here, and we press a Terra Blast into another immune Mon. This entire game is just me pressing the wrong button in the wrong spot. Terra Blast, I guess, was a nice move, because if I had Terra Fairy, I don't know, I could have swapped it into a resist, but I honestly could not tell you for any earthly reason why I wouldn't Terra and press Terra Blast there. I don't know what going Terra Normal there would have proven. It's not like I can save my Terra anymore anyways. So Raging Bolt hard swap. Photosynthesis up. And we get Phantom Force here. Now, this is like a shot out of left field. I don't know what the hell to do here. We can assume that it's got Toxic, but Driftbloom's gone. I don't know where Unk is. Unk pulled up to Easter dinner and then just disappeared into the Phantom Zone. Phantom Force comes out and hits us pretty gnarly there. We're going to Volt Switch into Hooper here, which is probably not recommendable, seeing as a Shadow Ball can come out here, or, you know, a Phantom Force. I Shadow Ball once here, and it comes out, and this looks like I've just accepted defeat. I mean, Raging Bolt wouldn't have liked that. 38% with another 12 is looking like 54, which almost knocks out my Raging Bolt if the, not Whiskash, this is a Driftbloom. If the Driftbloom hit something like a low roll, high roll, would have just been it. That would have been all. That would have been that's all, folks. Anywho, LeBron Games goes down here, and we are in a very, very horrible spot with Raging Bolt here, because we are running only Dragon and Electric moves, and there are a Ground type and a Fairy type on the other team. So no matter what, I have lost, because I will be hard-walled out of the rest of the game. So, yeah. Raging Bolt comes out. We get an Endure. I press Volt Switch. 1%. Hold on, what's going on? Not Slack. The Lychee Berry comes out. Boosted. Terra Normal. Explosion. Boom! At least it wasn't a 6-0. I technically got one Mon. A lovely way to end the game there. I respect it. It's reminded me of Final Gambiting with Lucario, but, you know, on the winner's side. I don't see it as BM in the slightest. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. You drafted Terra Normal for a reason. You gotta use it. I played, like, absolute dog poopy. I was a big Mudsdale pie that entire game. Worm/Jackie, you played very valiantly. Your team is great, and it beat my ass fair and square. Thank you, all coaches, not just the current, for a great Season 2. I had a blast, and so far, Season 3 is shaping up to look like it'll be just as good. So, you know what? I'll see you in Season 3 in just a little bit. Thank you for watching.